Hello and welcome back to Just Code It. Today we're going to be diving into multi-agent systems. Specifically, we're going to take a look at some pre-built ones within LangGraph. They're pre-built design patterns. The two that we're going to take a look at, I guess it's three, are supervisors and swarms. Supervisors are an agent that oversees individual agents that are delegating out tasks like a supervisor would. And then a swarm is parallel agents working together, doing different tasks, and then they come together at the end and combine their results. Swarms are actually a dynamic transfer of the control. It's a supervisor that doesn't stay static and it can move throughout the graph. A swarm, you can have at one point a supervisor is in one node of the graph and it makes a decision. A good example of a swarm is agents doing specific tasks and then passing them off to each other. Instead of coming back to a supervisor, it would just hand it off to the next agent that it needs, kind of like a tool call in some ways, but a lot of times you use a supervisor for tool calls. All right, let's just do our imports and get after it. To start out, we're going to come down here and run the first one and then get into making these tools. We're going to have two tools, book hotel and book flight. These are just mimicking the agent going to call a API, construct you use maybe a MCP server here, or construct a API request and then send it off to the API and get its response. After creating our two tools, this is where it's a bit different than what we've done before. Normally we create an agent and give it all the tools, but now with this, we're going to create a flight assistant and a hotel assistant, and these are going to go off and be completely different agents with a specific task only, and that is going to be to book a flight and book a hotel. Less likely for them to get lost. Then you just give some names for them, and then your prompt, tool, model. This also allows you to specify specific models that are really good at specific tasks. This is, what is going on? All right, that is from previous stuff. After that, we're going to create our supervisor. Our supervisor is going to be using that method create supervisor. What we're going to do is pass it our agents, like the tools, where we're going to pass it an agent. You can see how this is just nestling down. When we pass a agent tools, we put them in a list and then we give it a top model. Same thing here. The supervisor is getting a top model, and then agents are just tools. And then you also have a prompt, and the agent will decide which tool to use or which agent to pass specific information along to, and then we compile it. Let's run that, and let's display the graph. This is the graph. I've also had it up over here the whole time. Now we're going to print out some stuff. Here we're just going to iterate over the supervisor and stream over it, grab the messages, and then we're just going to print the chunks. And in between each chunk, we're just going to throw some dashes. Here we can see it actually for this first one. We're going to actually make it look, we can actually see what's going on in here. I also have debug on, but it's hard to see. But we can see the supervisor. The supervisor has a human message, which is the human message. We pass it right up here. Our message role user content is book. The first chunk that comes in is the message, obviously, because it's our message. And then the supervisor creates a message. This message has our contents. It's made up of a human message. Then it has no contents, but it does do a tool call, as you can see right here, and transfer to flight assistant. If we come down here, we have a new message. It's a human message that is passed along to the flight assistant agent. Our agent is just handing them the information that it needs. And then the flight assistant is going to make any modifications, book us a flight, and then hand a message back to us. We have it here, message. The first agent can add stuff to this message to make it more specific for the agent. Then we come down here. We're transferring back to the supervisor right here. And then we have a tool call. And then we have the tool message, which is just like a message, and the content is successfully transferred. This would also be the API success, or anything you're passing back from your agent that you need to send back into the supervisor would be right here. Finally, we have human message again, and are we going to call another tool? Yes, we're going to book a flight now, and we're coming down here, and this is just repetitive now, but We do these tool calls to book a flight. Then we have the message, booked flight back, and tool message transferred back to the supervisor agent. And what tool actually did get called? Yeah, the flight assistant. That's what I thought. That is how you can interact, where the supervisor right here can send information to either one of these agents and have them work independently and then send back information when it's ready. If you had a ton of different types of media that you wanted to summarize or look through, you could have specific agents specialized for that and then have them go out. If it's a PDF, go to that. If it's a website, go to that. Use the different agents and then come back at the end and summarize. After the supervisor agent, we have a swarm multi-agent, which is right here. Right over here is the graph for it. Swarms are a bit more complex, but they're also way more useful. And this is how you can actually see a lot of power where agents are working together and passing things off between each other. The example we're going to look at is a research and writing collaboration agent. How we construct this is we create some tools, then we create some handoffs that allow the agents to hand off to other agents, pass things to other agents. Then we actually create the agents. Then we create the swarm, which is just wrapping it all up, and we execute. Let's do the first little bit. Now we're creating our tools. We're going to have 4 tools. We're going to have conduct research, create outline, write content, and edit content. These tools are what our assistants right here are going to use. One abstraction away from that, these tools are going to be bundled up into our assistants. Each assistant could have specific sets of tools that other assistants will not have access to. This allows you to use more tools with specialized agents. If you've ever used like a ton of tools with a single agent, they can get confused and they just start guessing and using too many tools. This is one way to combat that. After that, though, we're going to create our handoffs. These are actually the edges. Here, we're going to do the writing assistant, and the writing assistant has this description. The description is used by other LLMs or other agents to decide if it should go to this agent. It's pretty important to have a good description, but if you don't leave one, it'll look at the tools within that agent. Let's run that. And then now we actually get to the swarms. The swarms have a model because each swarm is a create React agent. It's an actual agent. And we have a research assistant swarm. We're going to give it our specific tools, and then we're going to give it our specific transfers. What a transfer is a edge. Transfer to writing. This is the research assistant, and it will have an edge to writing, and it will have an edge to editor. These are the edges that it can take, or the paths it can take, and these are just actual tools. But in a way, it does make sense because how LangGraph has it structured is tool calls are the exact same as a request to another agent. It's a message. You're giving an agent a message and you're receiving messages back. That's how it all operates. In reality, doesn't make it too different, but it would be nice to split them up a little bit. Then we have the writing assistant swarm. You can use different models because some are better for writing, some are better for researching. Only one tool and then 2 paths. And then we have the editor, which has 1 tool and 2 paths. After that, we're going to create our swarm. To do that, we're going to do swarm set equal to create swarm. And like you've seen many times, agents is just tools in this scenario. And the default active agent is at an entry point for the code or for the graph. The one difference between the supervisor and the swarm, though, you might have noticed, is the swarm does not have a model. That's because each individual agent has the ability to go to other agents. And the supervisor's main task was directing traffic or organizing the other agents. And the other agents couldn't directly call specific agents. They had to go through the supervisor. Here, they can directly call all the agents that they have pre-described up here with these edges. And they can decide that path. Another thing you might realize in this graph is it doesn't have a end node. That's because LangGraph uses the LLM's reasoning ability to call to end the graph when it's complete. These can be extremely recursive. If you just do a loop, it won't end if it gets stuck. Sometimes it's good to do recursion limits, things like that. But for this one, it's pretty simple. After creating the swarm, I'm not going to print out the photo again. We're now going to print it. We're going to do debug equal to true, and this will allow us to see we go to the research agent first, which, yep, it is our default one. And then the research is going to go to the writer. Our prompt is create a comprehensive article on the benefits of artificial intelligence in healthcare. It's going to create an article. It's going to do some writing. It's going to do some researching, which makes sense. You would expect it to go to research first, then to write, then to edit. See if it follows. Goes to research, write, edit, and then it ends. That is it for multi-agent pre-builts within LangGraph. Up next, we're going to start diving into different design patterns that you can use when creating these agents and creating more complex agents. There's only a few design patterns that you use for creating all types of agents. We're going to dive into those and start creating some actual apps with them. If you have any suggestions for apps, please comment down below. I also have a post up for our next topic. If you want to vote on that, feel free. But I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you next time.